join me in welcoming up Ivan Rosales, please.
All right. Well, thank you for that introduction. My name is Ivan. I'm going to tell you guys the story about a very important person in my life. But before I begin, I want to share the journey that I would go through to get to this person every night. So my journey began around 7 or 8 o'clock at night over at DU. It was right after I was done with all my readings and all my schoolwork. If I had any essays, I'd try to wrap them up as fast as possible so that I could pack my things and run all the way over to the RTD parking station, because Lord knows I could not afford a DU parking pass. And I would turn on the ignition on my car and I would just step on it so that I could get into the highway as fast as possible, because I was mentally preparing myself for what Google Maps said a 40-minute drive, but I told myself I could make a 30-minute drive if I went fast enough. And I would go behind the fastest car as I got into the highway, and I would speed up just a little bit to see if anyone else was going any faster, because I was like who cares what are they gonna do? Pull us all over if we're all speeding? So I would try to switch lanes if anyone else was going a little bit faster, and then I would go beyond the highway to the apartment complex that person lived in. And I remember the minute that I parked my car in the parking lot, I would quickly rush out. I would often forget my backpack, and I would run up to the second floor that person lived in. And I opened the door and I would see my parents holding my 3-month-old baby brother. And the reason why this was really important to me, the reason why going home every night and making that commute was really important to me, was because I had been waiting for my baby brother ever since I was 6 years old. And at the time I was 19 when he was 3 months old. So it was a long time coming. I remember almost being close to having a baby brother. It was when my mom was pregnant with her third child, and I'm the oldest. So I remember I was like, oh, please let it be a boy. Please let it be a boy. And she sat me down and she gave me some McDonald's to, break the news. And she was like, I'm going to have a girl. And I was so devastated. I was like, no, I remember eating the chicken nuggets that she brought me, and I to comfort myself as I had tears rolling down my face. It was that weight that made the journey even more worthwhile. I remember the day that he was born was probably one of the best days of my life. I remember being so anxious arriving to the hospital, making sure that it was me and my 2 younger sisters, 13 and 15 at the time. And I wanted to make sure that we were the first ones to see my baby brother in the hospital. And I remember approaching the front desk and telling the front desk oh, my mom just gave birth. I'm so excited. And then anxiously waiting outside the waiting room. Finally, going into the hospital, into the room that my mom was in, and holding my brother for the first time. And I was laughing so hard that I started sobbing, because it was just an incredible feeling. It was a long time waiting for him, and the moments that I had when I was at home, when I would finally come home from that journey, from that car ride, were so precious. If you would say agu to my 3-month-old baby brother at the time, he would make the noises as well. He'd be like agu, agu, and I thought it was so adorable. And then he'd say ban, ban. And I would run around to my entire family. I'd be like, he's saying my name, he's saying my name. Those are his first words. They probably weren't, but I told myself that they were. And I think there's a profound love that I've grown to have for my baby brother. And I'm thinking about, going to law school in the East Coast, and my future plans involve bringing my family along with me so that I could, help my parents raise my baby brother, because he truly is someone that I deeply care about. And I hope that the profound love that I feel for him, he can also feel as well. Not just towards me, obviously, as much as, as much as I would love that, but, to anyone else, who can come into his life and make that meaningful impact. So thank you.
for Ivan one more time, please.